What does a Transformer's eye color actually mean? Let's find out. Blue. Blue eyes are the most iconic visual feature of the Autobots, and it all started in 1984. In the original G1 cartoon, Autobots had blue optical sensors and Decepticons had red. That was it. Nobody explained it. It was just the way things were. But in the Season 2 episode Attack of the Autobots, something happened that locked that unwritten rule in place forever. Autobots were reprogrammed to turn evil, and their eyes turned red. At that moment, it became a canon rule, and that rule held. Bay Films, Transformers Prime, Transformers 1. In virtually every version of the story, blue eyes mean the same thing. This is one of the good guys. Calm, principled. Someone who fights to protect, not to dominate. Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Ironhide, Ratchet. Their blue eyes aren't just a color choice, they're a value judgment. But here's where it gets interesting. Because blue eyes don't always mean good. Sentinel Prime in Dark of the Moon is a traitor who made a deal with Megatron to enslave humanity. He gets exposed, conquers Chicago, and kills Ironhide in cold blood. But his eyes stay blue throughout the entire film. There's no moment where they change color. No visual confession. The same goes for Sentinel Prime in Transformers 1, who is the oppressive ruler of Cybertron. His blue eyes were always a mask, worn by someone who had long since stopped deserving them. Blue signals loyalty, but Sentinel Prime is proof that the signal can lie. Red. If blue eyes mean one thing, red eyes mean the opposite. From the very first season of the G1 cartoon, red stood for danger, aggression, and a choice to dominate rather than protect. Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave. The red glow of their eyes was the first thing you saw, and it told you everything you needed to know. But the most powerful use of red eyes in the entire franchise isn't the eyes themselves. It's the transition. In Transformers 1, D16's eyes start yellow. Red is not always a choice, though. Here's one major exception that deserves attention. Jetfire in Revenge of the Fallen is ancient. A seeker built in the era of the Fallen who switched sides long ago and fights for the Autobots. He sacrifices himself for Optimus. And yet, red eyes. Because Jetfire never had the opportunity or the technology to update his optical sensors. His red eyes aren't a statement of current loyalty. They're scar tissue. Hardware from what he once was, carried in a body that long ago chose to be something else. Compare that to Drift, who also switched sides, but rebuilt himself completely and took blue eyes as part of that new identity. Same story. Two different colors. And in Bumblebee 2018, B has a brief moment where his eyes turn red during a moment of extreme anger and rage. Not because he's becoming a Decepticon, but because he's temporarily no longer himself. So red means you are on the wrong side. But Jetfire proves that what you do matters more than what color your eyes glow. Green. Green is the rarest primary eye color in Transformers, and it carries a specific pattern. It appears most often on characters who stand outside the Autobot-Decepticon binary. No faction, no loyalty, just their own code. Lockdown in Age of Extinction is the most deliberate example. His eyes are green. He's a bounty hunter working for the creators, a mysterious entity far above the war. He holds Autobots and Decepticons in equal contempt. His green eyes are a visual declaration he doesn't need to speak aloud. I don't belong to any of you. Even Decepticons fear him. It's probably the most narratively intentional eye color choice in the franchise, outside of blue and red. The Maximals in Rise of the Beasts also carry green eyes. Optimus Primal, Rhinox, Cheetor. These are the descendants of Autobots, inheritors of Autobot values, but they are not Autobots. They are something that evolved in the centuries after the war, with their own identity and their own visual grammar. The green marks that distance. Same values, but a different lineage and a different color. Then there is Devastator. Also green eyes. Also in the Bay films. Also absolutely a Decepticon. His green optics have no clean narrative explanation. The most likely answer is that the designers wanted him to look visually distinct given his enormous scale. He is the exception that complicates the rule without breaking it. Green signals independence from the war. Unless you are Devastator, in which case it might just mean you are too big to follow the usual rules. Purple. Purple is the most heavily loaded eye color in the franchise. It doesn't appear on ordinary Decepticons. It appears on characters who are something darker than that. Characters whose corruption runs deeper than faction loyalty, who are possessed by forces that transcend the war itself. The clearest example is Nemesis Prime in The Last Knight. When Optimus Prime is placed under Quintessa's mind control, his eyes shift to purple, not red, purple. That difference is crucial. Red would mean he had become a Decepticon, that he had made a choice. But purple means something quieter and more horrifying. He's still in there, but nobody's home. His identity has been overwritten. His will is gone. The purple isn't the color of someone who has fallen. It's the color of someone who has been hollowed out. Transformers Prime uses purple in a related but distinct way. When Megatron is infused with Dark Energon, the literal blood of Unicron, his eyes turn deep purple. In his normal state, his eyes are red, the color of his own choice, his own agenda. But when Unicron's energy penetrates him, the color shifts. Purple marks the moments when he is no longer solely himself. It's the visual distinction between a Decepticon and a possessed entity. And then there's Airachnid, also from Transformers Prime. And she changes the meaning of purple entirely, because Airachnid is not possessed. Nothing has crawled inside her. Those purple eyes are completely her own. She's not a standard Decepticon who lost her way. She's a sadist, a hunter, a character so far outside the normal scale of Decepticon evil that Red would almost feel too clean for her. She left the Decepticons not because she had a change of heart, but because even they weren't dark enough for what she wanted to do. Purple suits her because she was never operating on the same level as everyone else to begin with. So purple means two things, and they're related. Sometimes it means something has gotten inside you, Unicron's blood, Quintessa's control. And the color marks the moment you are no longer yourself. And sometimes it means you were always something beyond the normal scale of the war. Either way, purple is the color of what doesn't fit. Yellow. Yellow appears in the franchise as a pre-faction marker. Shockwave, in both the G1 cartoon and Transformers 1, has a yellow eye, in contrast to the red eyes of nearly every other Decepticon. Where Megatron and Starscream project emotional red aggression, his yellow eye reflects cold calculation and pure logic. A different kind of Decepticon. One who places logic above everything, even Megatron's orders. Orange. Orange is the rarest eye color in the franchise. And Rise of the Beasts is where it finally gets a clear meaning. Scourge and every Terrorcon under his command glow orange. Not red, not yellow, orange. The color of something burning from the inside, of energy that does not belong to the bot carrying it. The choice is deliberate. Scourge is not a Decepticon. He is a servant of Unicron. A different kind of corruption entirely. His orange eyes brand him as something separate from the standard faction war. They say, this did not come from Cybertron. This came from somewhere older and worse.